morning, everyone.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well this morning. This morning, we want to talk to you about loving your enemies. And we're going to be reading from Matthew chapter 5, verse 43 to 45. And this is in the words of Jesus now. In my Bible, it's in red, so you know it's Jesus talking. Ye have heard that it hath been said, Thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemies. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them that despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father, which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good. He sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. Okay, now this is a hard one, right?
Very hard.
Not a very easy pill to swallow here. Right here, Jesus is saying, okay, people say that you must love your neighbors but hate your enemies. But I'm telling you, if you want to be the children of your Father in heaven, you need to love them that hate you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them that despitefully use you. Now, when I read this scripture, it is totally contrary against everything that the world teaches us. The world teaches us, and I find that this is creeping into the church too, to cut people off. Don't have toxic people around you. That's a famous one that they like to say. Oh, people are toxic, cut them off. Okay, use wisdom. They even want to sound intellectual and religious. They're saying use wisdom and these little jargons and these little phrases. However, Jesus said that we must love our enemies. It
is hard because for a fact, I'm still going through this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? It's still a learning process for me, for sure. Mm-hmm. And I have come across, normally I would just cut them off as the world teaches us. But now as I am walking with Christ and I realize I have to be more Christ-like, I try. That's a big try.
It is not easy. You know?
It's very hard. Yeah.
But when I read this part that says, pray for them that despitefully use you, I couldn't help but remembering the little phrase that people use nowadays that says, hurt people. And sometimes people that are hurtful and mean and have a angry disposition that goes around hurting people are usually the people that needs our prayer the most, because we don't know what the other person is going through. But Jesus Christ in all his wisdom teaches us that these are the people that you must pray for, those that despitefully use you, because your prayer may be the only answer to their problem. When you pray for that individual, you are asking God to change them and to make them lovely, because sometimes we only love the lovely. The Bible also teaches us to love the unlovely. And sometimes we don't know what is happening in these people's lives. So Jesus says, pray for those that despitefully use you. And it went on to say, okay, everybody loves those who love them. That's easy. That's easy to do. So, but your Father in heaven, he pours rain on the just, he pours rain on the unjust, and he loves everybody. So if you want to be an exemplary child of God, or if you claim that your Father is in heaven, you should be doing just as your Father does. You should be loving the unlovely. You should be praying for your enemies, loving your enemies, not only your neighbor. Okay? So
for sure, for an example, we were having, church was going great and everything, the Holy Spirit is moving, good stuff. And the Lord was like, I need to go pray for this person. And me and this person are way cool, you know what I mean? And I'm like, you know what, Jesus? I am not doing that. And he kept beating me about it. And I said, no, of course we're swallowing her pride and we don't want to. So I felt it in my gut that that person was definitely going through something. I don't know because we don't talk, so but I could just definitely tell that she was going through something, and the Lord was telling me to go pray for her, and I didn't want to, and I didn't pray for her. And can I tell you that the entire day I felt so bad, you know, and I spent that time asking God to forgive me. I repented. But he was like, it's all right. But next time.
You do as I say.
Yeah.
Right? You do as I say.
It is so hard because we think that maybe because they're going to think that we're stooping to their level, which really is probably not. You know, they're just going to think that, wow, she's a bigger person to come and say something. But in my mind, I'm just like, no, that's not what it is. You know, but the Lord is just trying to take me through this process, you know, because you're growing. I'm growing. I'm still growing. So he's taking me through this process of like, you need to put your flesh aside, you know, push yourself. It's not about you all the time. Right. It's about his people. So, yeah.
Yes, and we know it's not easy. It's not easy for any of us. It's not easy for me to love my enemies. It's not easy to pray for somebody that has just hurt you and broken your heart. It is not easy. But guess what? This is the instruction that Jesus Christ has left with us. Love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. You can imagine somebody's cursing you and you have to turn around and bless them. That is hard.
It is hard.
Right?
That's
but
not easy.
Guess what? There is a blessing for you also in being obedient to Jesus' command.
The Lord will turn around and bless you.
Right.
Maybe that one thing that he's pushing you to do, he probably won't flat out and tell you, if you forgive this person, this is what door is going to open.
Yes.
He's just gonna like give you a little hint that you need to do this. But if you don't do it, you're literally
you might be missing your blessing.
Blessing.
Yes, you might be missing out on the blessings of the Lord.
Yeah.
There is blessings in obedience, you know, to God. And it also says that ye may be the children of your Father. So we ask of our own children so many things. We want them to represent us when they go out. So I always say to my kids, remember when you go out there, you're not only living for yourself. You're representing the entire family. I always say that to my kids. So that is what Jesus is trying to say to you right here, that you're the children of your Father. And if you want to be your Father's child, you have to represent the kingdom, and you have to represent it well. And this is what God, your Father, does. He falls rain on the just and the unjust. He makes the sun to rise on the evil and on the good. Right? So your Father does all these things. He's not partial. When he's falling the rain, it doesn't drop over Olivia and then leave me out because of something I've done. No. He's gracious to everyone. He's compassionate. He's forgiving. And that is how we should be. And I'm going to be teaching some more. We have a YouTube channel, and I'm going to be doing some in-depth teaching on forgiveness and on some other topics, because it is in the morning. We just want to give you a brief words of encouragement. So, but I'm going to be teaching some more on forgiveness, because what I realize is that social media has gotten us so much that we tend to believe that everything we see on social media is the truth. And so if social media is saying cut them off, don't talk to them, don't listen to be around toxic people, and that is what we tend to listen to. And we forget that the word of God is there as our manual, as our instruction to do according to how God has instructed us. So let's forget about social media for a minute right now. We're looking at what Jesus says, and this is what we should do.
And we have to remember that we're all God's children, so we cannot expect God to just, turn his eye on his child. It's like me asking my mother to push out one of our siblings.
Right.
No, we have to think about. We have to think about. We have to
realize that these people are God's children also. Because she's right. They quarrel all the time. They have their little sibling rivalry in the house. I can't say, okay,
Yeah.
because this child did you wrong, I'm going to put that child out and you should disassociate yourself from your brother or from your sister. No. So this is what God is saying to you. They are my children.
As well.
They're my children. I need you to pray for them because you don't know what they're experiencing right now. I need you to forgive them. I need you to love them and embrace them. And even if they curse you, I need you to bless them because they're also mine. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is just our word of encouragement to you this morning. Somebody, I don't know if we're talking to somebody specific, you might be going through something that you're hurting real bad, somebody that you least expect to hurt you, have done you wrong, and you're wondering, what should I do now? Go down on your knees. That's what Jesus says.
Go down.
Start praying for that person. Start loving that person. Ask the Lord to let the love of God be shed abroad in your heart for that particular person, and start blessing them, even if they curse you. And there's a blessing for you. I promise you. God is looking down from heaven, and He's not going to let your actions go unrewarded. He's going to give you a reward for your obedience to His word and for doing what He asks of you to do. So, let us practice this. Don't practice what is on social media. That is just our few words to you this morning.
Yeah.
And we hope you have a great and wonderful day.
A great day. And
All
we'll
right.
see you guys
And we'll see you tomorrow.